If you're sitting here and you're looking at the markets, you're looking at the bubbles, and you're thinking to yourself, I really haven't capitalized on the cycle enough, or I really haven't made enough returns in the cycle. Well, the thing is, I've got really, really good news for you, because I think you may have a second opportunity to make the same type of returns. But this is the last opportunity that you're going to get before the total 3 breakout happens and we go into this parabolic phase. So if you want to capitalize on that opportunity, you have to be really, really smart, and you have to be really, really disciplined. And what this means is that maybe instead of buying right now, you're going to need to do something different. You're going to need to be selling right now. And that's what the show is about. I'm going to show you, you heard right. I'm going to be selling. I'm going to be selling a whole lot of my altcoins. I'm going to be selling a whole lot of my altcoins starting right now. And that is because that is probably my only chance to get a second chance, or the last opportunity, to actually make the returns that I should have made in the beginning of the cycle. So if you're feeling like I'm feeling, you need to listen to the show, because it's probably going to be the most important show that you watch this week. Definitely. So let's get the show on the road. It's actually really, really urgent to do the show. That's why I came in on the Sunday. And so let's get this show on the road. I know a lot of people are feeling the same way that I'm feeling, and that is that I could have done better. I could have made more money in the cycle, and I should be making a lot of money in the cycle. Well, the good news is, guys, there is a chance that we're going to make a whole lot more money in the cycle if we're just disciplined and if we just follow the strategy. And that's why I thought I'd come to you today on a Sunday and bring you the strategy. It's really one of the most important shows I've ever done. So if you're here and you're watching this for the first time and you're not already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you are a long-term subscriber, just enjoy this content, smash this content, enjoy the content. And if you like the content, then just leave a like and let everybody know exactly what we're doing out here. In the meantime, how many of you actually watched the boxing this weekend? I mean, I watched it, and I think the best description for me was it was like a boxing match of Ethereum versus Solana. I really felt that that's exactly what I was watching. I felt like I was watching Solana obliterate Ethereum, and I actually felt very, very, very sorry for Ethereum when this happened. But that wasn't the only thing that happened this weekend. So, I mean, this weekend, exactly like I told you, we got the pump, right? So if you looked at the bubbles this weekend, we got the pump. We got, but it wasn't an ordinary pump. We got retail. We got this like wave of retail people coming in. We saw it with our subscribers. We've grown something like 10,000 subscribers in the last week. And that just shows me that there's a retail wave. And when retail came this weekend, what they started to pump was they didn't start to pump all of our coins. They started to pump the most ridiculous coins. They started to pump coins like XRP, coins like XLM, Stellar Lumens. I mean, when was the last time that you heard the name Stellar Lumens? They pumped coins like HBAR. They pumped coins like ADA, right? Because remember, what's happening here is that these retail investors have been sitting in their normie job all week and thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, I should be making more money in crypto. I should be making more money in crypto, but I don't have time to make more money in crypto. And so it was pretty obvious that when they got home on the weekend, what they were going to do immediately is they were going to try and ape into their crypto coins. But remember, they're out of touch. They don't know what this cycle's crypto coins look like. And I know this because a lot of people have reached out to me in the last couple of days, in this last week. And they're like, oh, which crypto should I get into? Should I get back into Cardano? Should I get back into XRP? I'm like, no, bro. We've moved 3 cycles forward since then. But remember, for retail, it's not about that. For retail, they want exposure. They're not as up to date with the technological advances as we are. They're not up to date with the meme coin cycles as we are. And so what they're doing is they're buying the only coins that they can actually buy. And that is Algorand, Cardano, Mana, Decentraland. I don't think anybody's used that app in 5 years. They're buying Luna C because for them, this is what crypto is about. And they need to get access, and this is where they get their access from. They get their access from Robinhood. And so they're coming into the market to do this. Now, I'll give an example of a discussion that I had with a normie friend of mine. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Send me a picture. He's like, should I be buying crypto? I'm like, of course you should be buying crypto. What should I buy? I went and told him, listen, you should be buying Sumi, okay? So because I dropped Sumi in the front runners, and it's done really, really, really well since we dropped it there. But I'm not shilling you Sumi. What I'm shilling you is, he then said to me, well, where do I buy it? It's not on Robinhood. I was like, oh goodness. You're looking for coins on Robinhood. Okay, let's rewind. Let's go back to those kind of coins. So normies are here. and they are pumping the altcoins. In the meantime, we're looking at this and we're going, hold on a second. You know, we've been here all bear market. We've worked really, really, really hard. We're looking at the 1 month return on the bubbles. And I'm thinking to myself, look, I should have done better. And I think you're probably thinking the same. Like, I don't know. I didn't make 2,256% on Peanut. I made money on Doge, but I didn't make as much money as I should have on Doge. I made some money on on Life. I'd made some money on Goat, but I didn't make enough money. And I think that that's the feeling that we all have here, that we didn't actually make enough money or as much money as we should have made in the cycle. And this is where I think that there is an opportunity. I think the fact that retail have come in and pumped the old bags is the first part of the opportunity. The second part of the opportunity is that I think there are a lot of people who haven't done well. And the truth is, if you had called this cycle correctly, then your portfolio would have looked something like this, right? If you were one of those people that actually called the cycle correctly, your portfolio would have looked like this. You would have had some Bitcoin in your portfolio. You would have had some Solana in your portfolio. You would have had Radium because that's the biggest DEX and it's had the best returns. You would have had the Perpetuals DEX. Then you would have said, okay, hold on a second, because this is a meme coin super cycle. Because remember, the reason why most of our portfolios weren't the perfect portfolio is because we were kind of caught off guard. And when I say off guard, we were caught off guard because we didn't believe in our hearts that this meme coin super cycle was going to be as real as this meme coin super cycle. Let me know if I'm right in the comments. Because if we did, then our portfolios would just look exactly like this. You'd have Bitcoin, Solana, Radium, Drift, because that's where people are trading meme coins. Then you'd have Coinbase and Aerodrome, because that's where the meme coin action on base is happening. You'd probably have a little bit of Sui Cetus, but then the rest of your portfolio would be Doge, then the other Doge. You would have had Pepe, you would have had Peanut, you would have had Act, you would have had Popcat, you would have had Fog, you would have had AI16Z, you would have had Goat, you would have had Fightcoin, you would have had Miggles, and you would have had Virtuals. And that would have been the perfect portfolio. But your portfolio doesn't look like that. And my portfolio doesn't look like that. And so now what people are doing, what I'm watching people doing is they're starting to change their portfolios to look like that. And what they're doing is they're starting to ape into all these tokens because their portfolio didn't look like that and because they didn't have enough conviction in the meme coin super cycle. And this is where the opportunity comes in. But the problem is that most of us, or most of you, are making a huge mistake. What you're doing now is you're buying and you're trying to make your portfolio look like this, or you're trying to chase this portfolio. But the opportunity is actually not in buying right now. The opportunity right now is actually in selling. And this is where I want you to hear me out here, right? I want you to hear me out very carefully, because I'm building a thesis here as to why you should be selling right now and not buying to chase this portfolio. You've missed this portfolio. This portfolio is historical. There's nothing you can do. You missed buying this portfolio. Well, there's not nothing you can do. There actually is something you can do, because we know a few things, right? We know that this is going to be a meme coin super cycle and an AI super cycle. And you can see that in the share of mine. So the market's told us already that this cycle is going to be a meme coin super cycle and an AI super cycle, right? And so right now, our portfolios aren't exactly right for a meme coin super cycle and an AI super cycle. Because yes, we knew it before, but we still decided to hold a lot of our other tokens, which were not meme coins or AI coins, right? Because we thought we were doing the responsible thing, and we thought it was very, very, very irresponsible to go all in on memes. But luckily enough for us, the market has shown us early in the cycle that there's going to that this cycle is going to be about meme coins, AI, and maybe a little bit of gaming. The market's basically told us that. And in the cycle, what you realize is that you're going to get a whole lot of mini cycles in the cycle. Now, what we know for sure is we know that right now we're going into an AI and meme coin super cycle, and specifically a meme coin super cycle. What we also know is that Total 3 is about to break out, right? Like, you can see that this is on the weekly. Total 3 is about to break out. It already challenged this top section over here. Once Total 3 breaks that, it's game over, and there's no other opportunities. So if you don't capture the next opportunity, you're pretty much history, okay? That's why you got to focus now, because you have to do what I'm about to tell you, right? We know that there's going to be a total 3 breakout. We know that retail are starting to ape into the tokens. We know exactly which tokens retail is starting to ape into because we've seen this movie before, right? We have an opportunity to build our portfolios into the perfect portfolio. And this is where the opportunity is, right? So what we know about every bull market is that there are massive corrections in a bull market, right? It happens every single time, and every single time it happens, it catches us off guard. In 2017, the corrections were brutal. 20% corrections on Bitcoin, 39% corrections on Bitcoin, 24% corrections on Bitcoin. In 2020, the same. We had big corrections, 20% corrections, 16% corrections, 30% corrections. We know we're going to get these massive corrections in Bitcoin, right? What we also know is that when these corrections happen, the tokens that suffer the most are the altcoins, or tokens that suffer much more than Bitcoin are the altcoins, right? So if you look at the altcoins, Bitcoin goes down 20%, the altcoins go down 41%. So we know that the altcoins suffer a whole lot. But the coins that suffer the most are actually the meme coins. So if you go back and you look at all the different corrections, what you'll realize is that when Bitcoin goes down, the coins that are most reflexive to the Bitcoin down movements are actually the meme coins, right? And since this is a meme coin super cycle, and we know that we're going to have these multiple corrections in the meme coin super cycle, and we also know that when Bitcoin went down 19% the first time, Popcat went down 50%. And when Bitcoin went down 16% the next time, in July, Popcat went down 38%. And when Bitcoin went down 28%, Popcat went down 61%. We know the meme coins are going to be the most reflexive. 𝗏𝗏 is a more recent meme coin, but just look at that. When Bitcoin went down 5%, 𝗏𝗏 went down 2.5 times as much. When Bitcoin went down 6%, 𝗏𝗏 went down 3 times that. When Bitcoin went down 2%, 𝗏𝗏 went down 20%. The most reflexive coins in the market are the meme coins. And so what we know about bull markets is we know we're going to have multiple corrections. We know the meme coins are going to be the most reflexive. We also know that this is a meme coin super cycle. So what we want to be in is we want to be buying meme coins when everybody's selling, right? So that's the strategy. The last thing that we know about bull markets is that in bull markets, the recoveries of when the dip happens, it is brutal. And you think it's the end of the world and you think Bitcoin's never going to recover. But in bull markets, the recoveries actually happen very, very, very quickly, right? So if we look at 2021, just give me 2020. So you see the corrections, 1 day from top to bottom, recovered in 4 days. Here, 2 days from top to bottom, recovered in 4 days. Here, 4 days from top to bottom, recovered in 3 days. What we know about bull markets is because in bull markets, there are going to be leverage flashes. And when those leverage flashes happen, it feels really, really, really scary. But we know the recovery is going to be quick because I've been around for multiple cycles. And in every single cycle, what I realized is that in the bull market, when the corrections come, it feels like the end of the world. But the recoveries happen very, very quickly. That is why it's called a flush, because it flushes people out and it carries on going up. And this is where you need to be smart. So you put all the pieces together and you say, all right, we're going to get corrections. When we get corrections, we know, but no one else knows, that those corrections are going to feel very, very scary, but they're going to recover quickly. We also know this is a meme coin super cycle, and we know that the meme coins are the ones that get hit the hardest every single time that Bitcoin goes down. So now let's put the whole thing together. When are we going to get these corrections? Because if we can start timing these corrections, we can have a strategy. And what my strategy is here is a very, very, very simple strategy. I want to turn back the clock. How am I going to turn back the clock? The only way to turn back the clock is to have cash when those corrections come, right? That is really the only way to turn back the clock. So I kind of made the strategy. It took me a very, 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 very long time to write. I hope that you guys appreciate the strategy. It's called my turn back the clock strategy. And the turn back the clock strategy is that it's one line. It's be 30% in cash when the dip comes. That's it. That's all you need to know. Because if you have 30% in cash when the dip comes, and Bitcoin takes a 20% or 10% dip, and Popcat does 50%, and you have the balls to actually deploy when that actually happens, then you effectively can turn back the clock. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, right? That's where the huge opportunity happens, but there's many more opportunities. So So when will this correction come? Well, usually these corrections, because they're not really corrections, they're more flushes, right? They are created to flush out the weak hands, and they're usually flushes that happen through whale manipulation activity and whatever else. How do we know when these corrections are going to happen? Well, it's pretty obvious, right? There are a couple of indicators that tell you when these corrections are going to happen. I'll show you some of those indicators. The first indicator is the fear and greed index. We know when the fear and greed index goes to extreme greed, usually after that we get a correction. Now, it doesn't have to happen immediately, because sometimes the fear and greed can stay up for quite a long time. But we know that the flushes tend to happen when we get to extreme greed. We are at extreme greed now. We've been at extreme greed for the last week. Just saying. Second time that these corrections happen is when the RSIs start to get into overbought territory. Now, what you can see, if you look at the 24-hour RSIs, which is the sentiment and momentum indicators, you can see that a lot of the tokens are starting to move very, very, very much into overbought territory, right? The next thing that, and if you look at the RSIs, if the RSIs get above 70, generally we see some kind of flush out, and right now the RSI is just above 70. The next thing that actually shows us when we get these corrections is what Miles actually pointed out, and that is when we get spikes in meme coin trading volume. And we've just had a spike in meme coin trading volume. Miles says, FUCK, the graphic actually shook me when I saw it. Every time that meme coin trading volume surges, it marks a BTC top. When you get a BTC top, BTC flushes. When BTC flushes, the meme coins have the biggest flushes. The next thing we look for is we look for funding. Now, when the funding gets yellow, that's not so good, right? Now, right now we're green, but you can see there's touches of yellow that are starting to creep up here. Then the next thing we look for is when retail are coming in too quickly. And this is a good tweet by 𝗥𝗪𝗘. He actually said, Coinbase is now the #1 finance app and the #13 app in the entire app store. It's happening too fast. Makes me a bit uncomfortable. Is this a local top signal? What I do know, and this is thanks to the amazing researchers that we have, we've got Coinbase. Every time Coinbase hits the #1 app spot, we start getting a correction. And as the horse says, he says that the momentum indicators and measures that now are for the first time are saying overbought are a long signal, not a sell signal. So basically saying we're slightly overbought now. And Alex Kruger, who's another person that's been in the market for a long time, wrote a tweet. And in this tweet, he basically worked out the whole thing. He says, it is likely to soon be expecting a major leverage flush out already. And so what we're seeing is that soon, and I don't know if it's going to happen in the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, who cares? We're going to get some kind of leverage flush out. It just happens in bull markets all the time. When that happens, Bitcoin's going to go down 20%. When that happens, your favorite meme coin's going to go down 50, 60, and 70%, because retail are going to run away as quickly as retail actually came here, right? So what's the strategy here? What do you do? What do you do when this happens? Well, as I said to you, the objective is to make sure that you are 30% in cash when this dip actually happens. Now, I have a theory about when this dip could actually happen. I'll share the theory with you. It's not like I'm a prophet. I don't know. But I remember from being here multiple cycles that Black Friday is generally not a good time for Bitcoin. In 2020, on the week leading up to Black Friday, Bitcoin went down 17%. On 2021, it went down 10%. In 2022, it went down 5%. And in 2023, it went down 5%. I remember that, and I remember going much further back, that Black Friday week is not a good week. Now, look, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. All I know is that when it happens, I need to be 30% in cash. What I also know is that you're not 30% in cash at the moment. And the reason why you're not 30% in cash at the moment is because you're trying to get your portfolio, you're chasing. This is what you call chasing the portfolio. You're trying to chase a portfolio when in fact, right now, everyone's chasing. And what I've learned from being in this market for a long time, when the market hits extreme greed, I need to be accumulating cash. That's it. This is my thing. Every time the market hits extreme greed, I need to be accumulating cash. That's it. Okay? The problem is that if you're buying now and you're not selling, you ain't going to have the cash. And so when this dip actually comes, and rest assured that this cycle is going to be just like every other cycle, rest assured that if you don't start selling today, which is why I did this quite urgently, if you don't start selling today, then you ain't going to have cash to buy that dip. And if you don't have cash to buy the dip, you ain't going to get another chance to get PopCat at 50% off and all these things at 50% off. You're just not going to get it. Let's just, for shits and giggles, just do something. I'm going to take this chart and I'm going to draw a circle over here. And we're going to remember that this circle over here is today. And I bet you that we're going to have a dip which is going to send the price way, way, way below, way below this dip over here, right? I don't know if it's going to go up first. Maybe there's another 10% up in PopCat. Who knows? Maybe 20%. But I bet you that we're going to go below this level over here. And I bet you that if you take Radium, we will at some stage be below the $5.70 level. Why? Because the RSIs are high, the retail is here, the momentum is crazy, right? And so I know at some stage, I don't know whether we're going to go up to $7 first, but I do know at some stage we're going to be below this level. Same thing with FOG, right? I look at FOG and I say, look, I want to get into this, but I know it's going to be lower than 58 cents at some point in time, okay? And so what I need to do is I need to make sure that I have 30% in cash when the dip comes. Now, big question, what everybody's asking. All right, where do I get the cash from? Okay, I'm going to show you where you're going to get the cash from as well. So, where do you get the cash from? This morning I woke up. You know what I did? I opened my bubbles. And it was actually these bubbles over here. And you know what I said? I said, thank whichever God you pray to. I said, thank you, God, for retail investors. Because I was sitting on a whole lot of crap, garbage from the previous cycle. And retail came in and they actually pumped my bags, believe it or not. I don't know if any of you are holding any old retail coins, any HBARs, Cardanos, XRPs, XLMs. Okay, you have a once in a lifetime opportunity to actually start selling these coins. Yes, these coins may actually go up. Yes, they may actually go up. I promise they may actually go up. But I'm not saying that you must go and sell them all today. I'm saying that over the next 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks gets us towards the Black Friday time. Build a portfolio, build 30% of cash. Make sure that you have 30% cash in your portfolio. Where do you get the money from? 2 places you get the money from. The first place you get the money from is you sell to retail. You just sell to retail. Retail's coming in. Sell to retail. If you're holding garbage from the previous cycle, then what you need to do is you need to go ruthlessly into that garbage and you need to say,
Ministerio de Turismo y Deporte, afuera. Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible,
HBA,
afuera.
afuera.
Ministerio
XRP,
de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad,
afuera.
afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas,
afuera.
afuera. Aunque te resistas.
Stellar Lumens,
Ministerio de Ciencia,
afuera.
Tecnología e Innovación, afuera.
You have to afuera. You have to go into your portfolios and you need to say, I don't want to hold any of these altcoins. And the retail investor has given me an amazing, amazing, amazing opportunity to sell the altcoins that I thought I was going to hold until until the end of my days, right? You need to go into your old portfolio and you need to go afuera, afuera, afuera. Just get rid of it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on my portfolio, right? I'm holding a whole lot of stuff which I shouldn't be holding. And when I'm done with the show, I'm going to go and I'm going to afuera, afuera, afuera. I'm not going to do it immediately. I'm going to do it over the next 2 weeks because I don't know if this retail run is over quite yet. In fact, I think there may be a little bit more gas in the tank here, a little bit more retail investors actually coming in here. But that is where you get your cash from. So let's quickly go through the strategy because it's actually a bit longer. So number 1, be 30% in cash when the dip comes. That is the underlying part of the strategy because that is the only way that you can turn back the clock. Number 2, sell your dinosaur coins. Okay, this opportunity shouldn't have happened, but it did. When things happen that shouldn't have happened, but they do, you grab the bull by the horns and you take the opportunity here. Sell your dino coins and say thank heavens for the retail, hold on, let me just help you here, for dumb retail. Okay, so for dumb retail. Then, when you get pumps on your other strong coins that are not narrative specific. Now, when I say not narrative specific, I wouldn't be selling any of my Radium. I wouldn't be selling any of my Solana, any of my Drift, any of my Coinbase, any of my airdrop. I wouldn't be touching any of these. But when I know you guys are holding a whole lot of other non-core positions, when you get a run in those non-core positions, what I want you to do is I want you to start to trim your holdings now. Okay, then after that, This is the part where it gets a little bit tricky. Have the list ready when the dip comes. Because let me explain to you what happens when that dip comes. When that dip comes, you think that it's the end of the world. Emotions get the better of you and you get paralyzed and you cannot buy. I've been there a million times. And the biggest learning that I've had is have the list ready now. Not when the market starts coming down, not next week. Get your list ready now. And remember, when you're trying to make this list, it's a very easy list to make, right? You know what the perfect portfolio looks like. It's very meme coin heavy. You also know that people are going to run out of meme coins. As soon as that dip comes, people are going to say, oh, the meme coin super cycle is finished. But it's not finished. It's proven to you that it's not finished. What I would do when the dip comes is I would make sure that I have the list. Now I'm going to show you more or less what a list looks like. This is not the be all and end all of a list. The first thing is, for the next part of the cycle, I wouldn't have any Bitcoin in my portfolio. No need. Usually what happens is, in the first part of the cycle, Bitcoin runs, but in the next part of the cycle, it's the altcoins that run much better. So I'm not going to be adding Bitcoin I'm not going to be selling any of my Bitcoin, but I'm not going to be adding Bitcoin to my portfolio. I'd keep Solana because we know this is Solana super cycle. I'd keep Radium because no matter what people are trading on Solana, I would keep Radium. I'd keep Drift. I'd keep my Coinbase because Coinbase is optionality on the entire crypto industry. I keep my Aerodrome because no matter what people trade on Base, it's going to be here. I keep Sui and Cetus. I may even add in Aptos if you like to take a little bit more risk, right? But then I would go heavy into memes. And specifically, I would take a position in both doges. Why? Because I think, as 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗧 says, attention theory of price. All major media will be posted. All major media will post the leaderboard of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Everybody's going to be talking about the Department of Government Efficiency for a long, long, long time. Which means that Doge will become the most widely seen ticker in the world by far. Okay? You've got it. Here it is. You've got it. It's here. Here's the test paper. So have both Doges in your portfolio when that day comes. Have the biggest meme on ETH, 𝗕𝗢𝗅, which, by the way, will come down a lot. You know why it will come down a lot? Because when the dip comes, retail is going to run for the fucking hills. You're not going to understand. And what just recently got listed on retail platforms? 𝗕𝗢𝗅. 𝗕𝗢𝗅 is going to go down the most when the correction comes, and it'll bounce the fastest when it goes back up. Okay. Now look, Peanut is like, there's a good chance that this becomes like the icon of why Trump won the elections. But I would actually start moving. Like I added in Ninja. Ninja is a meme coin which is on Injective. The reason why I added in Ninja is because I think in the next part of the cycle, Injective's going to have a run. Then, I mean, Miggles because we think it's going to have a Coinbase listing, and maybe by that time it hasn't got it. Foxy, because you need to, like Foxy's, there's a lot of stuff happening on Linear. Then Sundog, because Sundog still hasn't got its Binance listing. I'm not saying that this is the ultimate portfolio. And I think during this week, we'll put together the ultimate portfolio. What I'm saying is that you need to have your list ready. Because when that proverbial dip comes, you are going to shit in your pants. You're going to sit there and you're going to be so scared and you're going to think it's the end of crypto. And the problem is, because we're in a bull market, it's going to go down and it's going to come straight back up again and you're going to get flashed out. So to recap, what you need to do. Number one, be 30% in cash when that dip comes. Sell your Dino coins to retail over the next couple of weeks because you don't want to hold them because you're smarter and you know that towards the end of the cycle, all the other coins are actually going to be happening. This opportunity that retail have given us is like the craziest fluke I've ever seen in my entire life. Trim your strong coin holdings on pumps. Have the list ready. And on that day when that dip comes, and it feels like it's the absolute end of the world, close your eyes, look at the list, and deploy the cash. Stick to the strategy. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel for a couple of days like you've made the worst decision of your life. And your positions are going to start bleeding. And you're going to think, damn it, this time it is the end of the cycle. And then it will turn. And then you'll get that second chance that I promised you at the beginning of the show. And I don't think there's going to be any other chances after this chance to catch this part of the crazy run. The market's giving you a unique opportunity to get a second chance to turn back the clock. But it's only going to happen if you have 30% in cash, if you have a list, and if when the time comes to deploy, I will be here and I will push you into the pool, because I'm going to show you my list this week. This week I'm going to show you my exact buying list when that dip actually comes. And when that dip actually comes, we're going to ape in together. I'm going to make sure you ape, and you're going to make sure you're going to hold me to account when I ape. So that is how we get a second chance. That is why I said in the beginning of the show that I'm starting to sell some of my altcoins. Again, just a couple of things that I do want to go through with you guys. Let me just quickly call it up here so that you guys have got it. Here it is. First of all, remember, if you haven't already destroyed or obliterated the like button, then now is a great time to do it. That's all I ask of you for coming in on a Sunday and bringing you this amazing alpha. Next thing, we are running a 10% off trading fee. So if you want 10% off your trading fees for the next year, sign up with Bybit, sign up with BitGet, sign up with Blowfin. With any one of those exchanges, you're going to get you're going to get 10% off. B, when it comes to Blowfin, there's $1 million campaign now, but also Blowfin doesn't do any KYC. Next thing is, if you want to learn how to trade, all you need to do is go and sign up to Sheldon Sniper School. It's free. It starts in 1.5 days. It's your really your last chance to sign up to this amazing free school. This dude taught me how to trade, and I came 7th in the competition. I'm not even a trader. Okay, I'm not even a trader. Lastly, we have started for frontrunners, which is our exclusive Discord community. It's where we call this coin over here at $2 million market cap or something, $3 million market cap. Okay, I don't remember what the number was. It's at $14 million, 7x. If you want to join, there's a Black Friday special. But the Black Friday special is only until Black Friday. You got to use the code Black Friday. And then lastly, for those of you who want to win a full Bitcoin, just go to this page over here. Give us your price prediction for the end of the year. If you're the closest on the 1st of the 1st, 2025, you win a full Bitcoin. I mean, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, guys, back to your Sundays. If you've enjoyed this, obliterate the like button. Otherwise, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.